Hey YouTube, it's Portal, and today I'm going to be fixing every single gadget and star power that needs fixing. Now before this video starts, I want to let you, yes you, know that I'm giving away one Brawl Pass at 1,000 subscribers and then one Brawl Pass every 500 subscribers after that. So if you want a chance to win a Brawl Pass, it's completely free. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below something to do with this video. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now, before I go and I change all these star powers and gadgets, let's define what I'm really trying to do here. So, let's get an idea of a perfect brawler build. So, for example, let's look at a brawler like Bo. Bo's first star power is amazing on maps like Snake Prairie with a lot of bushes where he can see into the bushes, whereas his other star power, his stun, is amazing on gem grab and hot zone maps to gain control. This creates a scenario where both his star powers are very useful in two different situations, which means you're going to want both star powers depending on the scenario. So then you can change it in case, gem grab, or you can change it in case you're playing Snake Prairie. And I want to do this for every single brawler that I feel has a gadget that could use a buff to maybe be right there with the other one, or a star power as well. I'm going to be going through every single brawler and telling you guys which ones I think need changes. So for our first brawler, we have the starter brawler, Shelly. Shelly overall is a pretty good build. The only change I would make is maybe to buff the first gadget so that it travels a little bit of a further distance. This would help her a lot. The other change you could make is buff her first star power to make the slower last longer, maybe like 2.5 to 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds. But other than that, her build is pretty good. People tend to use both star powers depending on the situation, but the other gadget tends to be more dominant. Moving on to rare brawlers, I think that Rosa will be getting a change from me. The only change I'd make is to buff her first star power and make her heal for more health. I think maybe 400 health in bushes would make this star power more competitive. Bull is the only other rare brawler I'm going to make a change to, and his change is going to be buffing his first gadget to let him heal for a little bit more health. Currently his second gadget is almost necessary for him, so he could use a buff to his first gadget. Now moving on to the super rare brawlers. The first super rare brawler to get a change from me is going to be Dynamite, and Dynamite is going to need some major changes. For starters, he's going to need a nerf to his second gadget. I want to keep the stun mechanics and also give Dynamite value for his stun. So the change I'm going to make is to change the stun time based on the distance he throws it. So if he stuns at max range, the stun will only be for, 0.5, maybe 1 second. But if he stuns like a Edgar right on top of him, it'll stun for 2 seconds or so. The second nerf I'm going to give to Dynamite is to nerf his second star power and decrease the extra damage to only 1,000 extra. Rico is going to be the second brawler to get some changes, and he will also begin some major changes. So for starters, his first gadget is going to get nerfed so that when he uses his gadget, he's going to lose 25% of his HP. And this will hopefully balance it out so it's not as overpowered. And then I'm also going to be nerfing both of his star powers. So his super bouncy star power is going to be changed from plus 230 extra damage to only plus 150 extra damage. And his robo retreat is getting nerfed to only 15% faster speed. The next super rare brawler to get a change is going to be Carl. His change is pretty simple. It's just going to be buffing his first star power to be 15 to 20% pickaxe speed instead of only 10%. Jackie is the next one, and her change is also pretty simple. It's just buffing her shield on her second star power to 25 to 30% to make it more usable. Gus will be the final super rare brawler to receive changes, so he's getting 2 changes. His first one is going to be completely changing his second gadget. It's pretty useless compared to the blow up one, so I'm going to completely change it to Poison Spirit. So Gus will instantly gain 100% Spirit, and the next Spirit will poison the opponent it hits for 500 damage for 3 seconds. His first star power will also be changed, and so for this one, I'm just going to make it so that the knockback that he gets when he uses his shield, that's going to be this star power, and if you use the other star power, then you won't get the knockback anymore. Moving into the epic brawlers, Ems is going to be the first brawler to get changes from me, and so she is going to get a buff to her second star power, and it's going to buff the amount of healing she gets for every brawler in her super area. This buff will go from 576 to 800-ish health per second. You could also nerf her first star power instead of buffing her healing, but I feel like buffing it would be better since she's not that great in the meta right now. The next brawler is going to be Frank. His is pretty simple. It's just a small buff to Sponge so that more people use that star power. B's second star power is going to be getting a small buff to maybe 40 or 50%. So that the star powers will be more even. Grom's first star power is going to be getting changed, so his attacks will go a tiny bit further. This should balance out his build so that some people will opt for more damage and some people will opt for further range. Bonnie is going to be getting two major changes. So Bonnie's second gadget, Crash Test, will be getting a buff so that when she uses it, she will automatically gain back 50% of her ult. I was thinking about doing 100%, but I feel like that might be a little too overpowered, so I decided to do 50%. This will hopefully help her so that she can jump in and kill a brawler, but also get back to her long range pretty quick. Her second buff is going to be, her second star power will begin changed to Exploding Drop. It will have her explode when she hits the ground and break walls. This will hopefully make this star power better on like Brawl Ball, and then still have the further range for like Knockout. So Colette will be getting a change to her first gadget, so it's going to begin buffed from an extra 1500 damage to 2000, maybe 2500. I just feel like 1.5k isn't enough to be better than the healing gadget. So if her first gadget does maybe, 2000, 2005, or 2500, it will be a lot better. This will hopefully make it so that her first gadget will be good against teams with less health, and then her second gadget, the healing one, will be better for teams with a lot of health. Ash's second gadget will no longer take away health from him and will now give him 50% rage instead of 40%. Hopefully this will balance the gadgets out. Lola's second star power is absolutely terrible, so instead I'll make it so that Lola's ult deals more damage based on its health. So if the ult is at lower health, it will deal more damage. Sam might have the most one-sided build in the game, so let's go ahead and fix that. For our first change, let's change his second gadget to automatically give Sam his ult back, just like RT's gadget. And his second star power will now stun enemies for 0.5 seconds if it hits them. This will hopefully give his build more options based on matchups. Mandy's second star power, her shield will be getting a buff from 40 to 50% to hopefully make it a little bit more stronger. Maisie's second gadget is really confusing and just needs to be changed. So instead, her second gadget will slow opponents on her next landed shot for 2 seconds. This will hopefully help balance her gadgets out. And then also her first star power will be getting a minor buff and make it so that a rocket deals 25% more damage at max range instead of only 20. Hank might have the two worst star powers in the game, so let's go ahead and make two brand new ones that suit his build. His first star power will let him heal while blowing a bubble as long as he's not taking damage, but it'll only be 25% of what normal healing would be. His second star power will let his ult attacks home into enemies that are nearby them, just like Piper's gadget or like Belle's hypercharge. Pearl's second gadget will be changed to be similar to Shelly's gadget, where her attacks become smaller, but it'll go further, and her first star power will be changed to have her cookies deal more damage the further away she hits them. Larry and Lowry's first gadget seems pretty useless, so let's change it so that Lowry teleports back to Larry and heals back to full health if he doesn't take damage for 2 seconds. Now this is only for Lowry, not for Larry. Angelo's second star power is getting changed so that instead of being faster on water, he's going to charge his shot faster when he is on water. And last but not least, Shade's second gadget will deal increased damage and stun opponents for 1.5 seconds And then his first star power will buff his speed when he hits opponents regardless of if it's in the center or not. Now moving on to mythic brawlers. So the first mythic brawler to begin changes from me is going to be Mortis. So Mortis's first star power will be changed to give him a shield when he has his longer dash ready. Gene will be getting a buff to his second star power so that he will deal 3,000 damage if he lands his pull instead of only 2,000. Sprout's first gadget will be changed to be just like Rosa's bush gadget but bigger, so he can place bushes in the map to hide in. This will hopefully also help buff his second star power by helping him be in bushes more often. So Buzz's first star power will be getting changed so that anytime he hits an opponent, they are stunned from getting hit by his torpedo instead of getting hit from him. This will mean they're stunned for less time, but it'll help him if brawlers are trying to jump away or get away in some sort of way. Eve's second gadget is going to be replaced with Sandy's sleeping gadget so that Eve will fully heal herself after 1.5 seconds. I wanted to give this gadget to someone else, and I feel like Eve is the perfect brawler. Janet is going to begin some major changes. So to start off, her second star power will now just be applied to her normal build, just like Chester's was a few months ago. And so her new second star power will make it so that she drops 3 extra bombs with her super, so from 7 bombs to 10 bombs. But she will also receive a nerf to how much of her ult she gets from hitting a bomb, so she can't just keep cycling supers over and over again. Just like Janet, for Otis, I'm going to be doing the same thing. So his second star power is going to be a part of his normal kit, and his new second star power will have his attack deal a little bit of poison damage over time, but I feel like this will be a little too overpowered, so I'm going to do a little bit of a damage nerf to him on top of that. Buster's first gadget is getting changed so that he instantly charges his ult. Willow's first gadget now will deal 1.2k more damage instead of just 600. This will hopefully help it compete more with the dive gadget. Doug's first star power will now give the person who gets resurrected a shield when they return. Chuck's second star power will now stun enemies for 0.5 seconds if they get hit by him while he's ulting. Charlie's second star power will now poison enemies who get hit by Charlie's attacks for 2 seconds. Lily will be getting 2 changes. So the first change is that her first gadget will now charge like 75% of her ult just instantly. I feel like just doing all of it is a little too overpowered, so I settled with 75%. And her second star power is getting changed so that the longer a brawler is in her supercharging area, the faster it'll charge her super. Mo's second star power is getting changed so that he gains a shield while in his driller mode. Hopefully this will help it compete with his other star power. Last but not least, we're moving on to legendary brawlers. Crow will be the first brawler to get a change, and so his first star power gets a buff from 15% less damage to 20, maybe even 25% less damage. Sandy's first gadget is going to be changed to have him deal double the amount of damage on his next attack. This will hopefully help him so that he uses that star power against more tankier comps. And I'm also going to be changing his second star power, so the heal buff will be getting a buff from 380 to 450. This will hopefully give some good value and make it so that star power is used more. Meg is going to get a tiny buff so that her first star power will give her a 30% shield instead of a 25%. Chester's second star power is getting a rework so that right after he uses his ult, he'll do more damage. Draco's first gadget will now rage him and make him deal more damage for the next 3 seconds. And last but not least, Kenji's first gadget will begin changed so that he is immune for the next 1.5 seconds. And those are all of my changes. So obviously this isn't completely perfect. If they implemented these changes, some of these would be completely broken, others wouldn't. I'm not really sure until I would go in and test them. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to comment. You can have a chance to win a Brawl Pass. Plus for absolutely free. Also, check out my TikTok in the description below. I post short form content over there, and I might be giving away some Brawl Pass Pluses over on my TikTok, so go follow me there. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one as always.